All right, 2020, guys, but we still battle with basic questions like, what is love? What do you understand love to be?
For me personally, I feel that love is being able to put someone else before yourself, clouding all judgments. For me, that's what it is. Like,
Is it necessary to put somebody in front or ahead of you, or should you be together?
it's not necessary, but I feel like when you are in love, it's something you want to do. It comes naturally. It's not something you think about. It's not a thought, but it's like, I'd rather, let's say I have a commitment today, I would rather sacrifice the commitment I have to prioritize the person that I'm with if they have a commitment as well.
So the true test of love is how much you're prepared to compromise for somebody else.
Yeah, for me personally.
Have you experienced love?
Yeah, I'd like to think so.
So how do you know when you're in love? What are the symptoms? What are the changes, either consciously or unconsciously, that you go through if you are in love?
I think it changes you as a person also. Like, you start being compassionate of the other person, your significant other, and you just start doing things that you don't normally do. But I feel like my definition of love is different. I feel like love doesn't look a certain way. It's just how you feel. And I told my boyfriend recently that I feel like love is where you find it. Because often people will say love looks like this, it should be like this, the person should treat you like this. I feel like love is where you find it. You know when you're with someone who loves you. That's one thing people need to understand about love, is that you can't fool me and tell me that you love me if you don't. I can feel it, it's the energy thing. You need to vibe on a same frequency of energies. So that's what love is.
I once heard somebody say that Uthando, if we're going to look at it from that perspective, akalwazi uthando, yindoda, iyona faka uthando enhlizweni yakho. Then conversations happen.
Okay.
Uvala kuthini bafukuloko.
Umuntu wesifazane akalazi uthando, indoda,
Iyona efaka uthando. Umuntu esimanga.
I feel like it's because, okay, my opinion is that it's this trust issue that's going on right now. Kunzima kumuntu wesifazane, kuthatha isikhathi eside umuntu wesifazane ukuthi athembe umuntu wesilisa because of what men are doing and what men are deemed to be. So akulula umuntu wesifazane ukuthi amayinikele kuwena kanjalo, but thina I might meet her and be like, she's beautiful, wara ngimthande. I think it's love, but it's lust. So kuqala kanjalo kuthina kulula, but ikubona it's rare ukuthi umuntu wesifazane abe ne-lust, because mase ngeke ungena full force esethi love. So I feel like ukuthi iba lapho ke indaba ukuthi ni bona bafike sebethanda, ithina isifikayo sesithanda, and then isibafake leyo nto, and you have to prove yourself as a guy ukuthi ni uyimisele kangakanani ngaye, and then ke akuthande ngayo yonke indlela.
Do you have examples of people who are not in love but in a relationship? It works for them. No, I'm being honest, because from my understanding, some people, it's convenient to be in a relationship, but they're not necessarily in love, but they call it a relationship.
Oh yes.
Do you have examples of that in 2020?
So you mean like you need to name those people?
No. Have you come across such situations where people are together but they're not in love?
No, we come across such situations every day of our lives. I mean, nowadays, dating is not entirely based on uthando, but dating nowadays, in most times, is based on ngayibeka kanjani ukuthi lento izokusebenzela kanjani wena. Is this thing going to take you somewhere? What are you coming with? What are you here to offer? So if you are here to make my life easier, then I'm going to be in a relationship with you, because I mean, I don't see a need for me to struggle when you are here to make my life easier. So
Even if I don't love you,
it doesn't necessarily need to
So
be.
basically, what's in it for me?
What's in it
Yeah,
for
who's
me?
about what's in it for me?
Yeah.
That's a tough position to be.
It happens.
Let's take one step back. I asked you a question, which was, what are the signs and symptoms of being in love? And then you might have come across Gary Chapman's book about the 5 love languages. Are we aware of those? Like
I know of love languages, but I don't know.
No, it's fine. It's words. It's quality time. It's touch. It's gifts and acts of service. Some people express love in one way or the other. So my question is, for you to feel comfortable that you're in a loving relationship, what must the person do to make you feel that out of those?
You personally quality time. I need quality time. I don't know, maybe maybe it's an only child syndrome thing. I don't know, but for me that's like the most important thing. And then acts of service. And I'm a gifter, so it doesn't have to be Uthi, you're gonna gift me, but I'm a gifter, and it usually happens when I am dating. If I'm a gifter, he also becomes a gifter because he assumes that that's my love language as well, and that's what I like as well, and it's just kind of bounce.
He learns or he's taught? Because men need to be.
I don't know. No, I think he learns, not taught. I don't go, hey, I want you to
reciprocate.
Yeah.
Tell someone
It's
to do
literally, it's
something
nice
for you,
when it comes from a genuine place.
But coming back to how do we experience love and how we express love? Because, for example, let's assume you're in a relationship where somebody's about time, but you value more gifts. How do you reconcile those two? Now, bigger my file, I go like, hey, this guy has in it. All I wanted was gifts on Valentine's. I wanted gifts every week. I wanted them to shower me, because that is how I experience love. So if you don't do that automatically, in my books, you're not in love with me.
I think it's very important for people in a relationship to have a communication skill. Like you must communicate your wants, your needs, what you're expecting from this person, because you just met this person. Well, if you just started dating, you don't know them that much, even if Benazana, but now you're in a relationship and it's different. And also another thing is, if you're in a relationship, you must be prepared to make compromises sometimes, you know, like if guys are too easy, I must be willing to compromise sometimes and understand it's okay, he has a gig. So I think it's just communicating and be willing to compromise if the relationship means so much to you.
And just finding ways to make it work.
Yeah.
If you want quality time and I'm gigging, then we'll drive to the gig together. In that way, we're spending time.
I'm surprised I've been married for at least 5 years because my wife loves words and I'm not the word guy. I'm like, it's not fine. Try next door, middle send 200 rand. I'm just not that. I'm just not that guy. I understand the compromise because I always think to her, don't look to be loved in the way you expect. Look at the other things. So let's say you have now sorted out your love languages. And we all know whether you're the kind of person who likes gifts or you like words or you like touch. You must hold my hand when we're in the mall. Do you have a problem with PDA?
I love PDA.
That feels why.
I want you to flaunt me, post me. Like, I love that. I love all of that. Give me that any day.
I always have a question. So
I just think there's a certain...
I'm satisfied, Gippy. Or broadcast.
I'm not person like to feel important.
Yeah.
So social media plays a huge role in our lives. So if you post them, they feel important. They feel okay, you're not shy enough and you are proud to be with her. So
how do you handle the pressure?
Yeah, you are not hidden. So
how do you handle the pressure if you guys are going through a rough patch and now unsupposed nani? Obviously, abantu bazothi. How do you handle that?
Man, then
Don't you feel
what it is? I feel like abantu akumelanga bazideprive of into kanjalo just because mase sinihlukene kuzowenzakala. Post the other one, maso.
That's my same attitude as well.
Dude, it's life, things happen, but
post the other one.
Ngijabulile ngaleso sikhathi.
Thanks to Mark Zuckerberg, 1 year ago kind of photos when you guys,
I hate those. I hate those.
Delete and move on. You don't share, delete and move on.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So we have this couple, right? So you guys are on board, loving each other, love goals, etc., etc., etc. How important is dating in a relationship to sustain it?
A date.
Dating, going out on dates as a couple.
Oh.
Date nights.
Yeah, for me that's very important.
Same.
It takes the cake in a relationship. I mean, most times you're in the house or you're around your friends, you still need to find time for just each other. you know.
And I think isikhathi lapho nitholana khona ukutshelana izinto eningakwazi ukutshelana zona over the phone or ngisho kuthiwa nihlala ndawonye hlezi nishayisana ngey'fuba ingane lana niyasebenza but mase me time because enomuntu oyedwa. I think that's when ngikwazi akutshele ngisho kwama-ambitions zakho ngathola ukuthi she's probably thinking of starting a business, but I was ukutshela because
as a proud Zulu man, you're very liberal with these things, but we'll come back to those.
I agree
so
with
date nights are important?
They are important because, for example, let's say you're a couple that's living together or you guys are married.
Yep.
As a wife, you're already expected to cook maybe every single day if your partner isn't, like, if you guys are not, but if, like, your husband or your boyfriend says, babe, let's go on a date today. You know, I'm coming back from work. Today I'm not cooking. I get to spend quality time. I'm bathing, and then it's there's no communication happening whatsoever. He's there with his feet on the couch watching TV. There's no bonding time. When you're on a date, it's literally, sometimes you guys are not even on your phones. You literally, like how you were saying, you're learning the person. The person is telling you what they want to do with themselves, where they want to go, and I just feel like that's why date nights.
And plus, it's fun.
Yeah, it is.
It's fun.
Which
is most important. You can't lose a fun element in relationship.
Are intentionally planning to spend time together. Especially when you're but when dating about you're gonna dress up. It's so intentional.
Yeah.
What
does an ideal, if there's such a thing, date night look like for you?
For me,
is there such? Here's my point. My point is, does it have to look like this? Does it have to be a restaurant? Can it be walks? Can it be? What does it look like?
It can be a bit of everything. Yeah. You know, one night we are going out for ice cream and waffles. The other night we are dressing up and going to a restaurant, having the whole 3-course meal type of setup. The one night you guys are literally just going out for burgers, it's movies. Bit of everything, you know, just touch.
You don't all have to agree, by the way.
No, I agree with that. Like, sometimes I want to be at a restaurant and formally dress up, so you also remember, because I can be pretty.
Yeah.
And then some nights I want to go bowling, some nights I want to do something that's going to make my adrenaline run. Like, just be in our different spaces, just, you know, for me that's
why it's so hard to think of one ideal date night. Cause
No, I was going to find out, really because some people might say, look, if it's a date night, take me out so I can be flaunted, so people can see me and you holding hands and we'll be looking over the window, oh honey, how do you pronounce this?
Oh God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
it just varies from place to place. Now, next question. So there you are on the date night. Let's assume it's a restaurant.
Anyone?
Wait. We need
okay, here's my thing. I don't mind paying.
Yeah.
I don't mind paying. But there comes a time maguti siyahamba consistently let's restaurant now let's show some effort. Initiative.
She's there. There's the effort. She's
no financially now.
Hey,
it's not like I dragged you out of the bed and say, hey Baba, asambini selo restaurant. Show initiative now. Nami, even if it's half and half or quarter and the other big quarter
75-25.
Yeah, 75-25, it's cool. But show initiative because umuntu isithunzi sakhe sidemija kalula uma uhlezi ukhangezile ngoba kuzokubanjwa ukhangezile njalo siyaphuma ngiyakhokha.
But is that not what a guy is supposed to do?
I think it depends.
For me, it's
according to who
initiates the date. Whoever initiates the date pays for the date, personally. But I've been in a scenario where, or scenarios rather, where I initiate the...
You busy girl!
It's one person!
One person several times or 7 people once.
Fool me once.
Wow! Yeah. But I've been on dates where I may have initiated the date, but we get there and I want to pay, but a man's ego won't allow. I won't allow him to in court. So there's also that. But I also feel like even if he's initiated the date and he says let's go out, I'll always bring my bank card. Anything can happen. Really last year I remember our Standard Bank had a whole thing where cards weren't working. Swipe, we couldn't take our money. So and I was out with a friend then. So can you imagine if I wasn't there and she went out? a swipe, it's card decline, but you know you have money in that card. So it's just always like
that's a plan B, but as a rule, should the guy not pay?
For me, it depends which kind of relationship you're in. If you're taking me out on our first date, I'm not paying.
Yeah, well.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm sorry, but I just feel like, you know, when he's still trying
Who's gonna announce?
Wait, are we
when
talking
he's still
about...
asking you out for him to pay, but get going to send you relationship, you guys been doing this for of course, because in this cut of people over leg and I mean,
But also, I just need to understand your
but also
question.
knowing your partner.
It's based on what? Is it based on couples who just started dating, or are you talking about people who are in a relationship? Because I would say if you are in a relationship, there's the one element that's very important when it comes to date nights, which is being transparent to your partner. Like if I'm in a relationship, my partner should not find out in a date night ukuthi I'm broke. But she should know ngingene emotweni sawe date night ukuthi usiya namhlanje akanayo imali uhizi namhlanje akanayo imali. So transparency also plays a huge role when it comes to such things.
Definitely.
Because now we are able to plan our dates prior. Kuba so what usiyazi ukuthi this is what we can afford, this is what we can't afford. We can't get to a mall bese umathapela expect sokuhlala kwenye restaurant where else uyazi ukuthi we can only afford steers.
Exactly. Yeah. So
But
important.
what's most important, we do have our date night. So transparency plays a huge role where that is concerned.
And going back to what she said, ukuthi i-initiative uyena othe ngizokhokha but mina ke ne-ego yami ngathi cha khululeke mina ngizokhokha. That alone says so much about that person. But njalo mase ukuthi fanele khokhe wena ukhipha ifoni. Nah.
No,
I don't
I'm online banking.
I don't agree with I don't agree with splitting the bill. I just think it's the weirdest thing when we're like and there's a man at the table, now we're calculating this is what I ate, so I'm gonna pay for it. Like no, I like must
Weird.
let's just say that's what going back to what he's saying, let's just be transparent. No, go to city, okay, 50-50. If you calculate coca meal, if you coca and that's
that.
And also that says a lot about a person, guys. Such little things in the if you're in a relationship, especially if you're looking especially if you're a serious person like me who's looking for like a lifetime partner, isn't just Ganjalo as such 10 offs because you're like, I can't be in a partnership with a person like this. School fees so if we're in a marriage, you can't even pay for your own wine or pay it for it says a lot about the person. You know?
But in 2020, I hear this talk, it's nice, it's ideal. Is it actually happening? Or are the couples who, without a date night, pambi the comrades? It's a nice to have. Because I must be honest, my wife's like, on some, you know what day it is today? Our date night is Thursday, by the way. Which is
Every
So
day.
you guys
So I'm like, on some like...
Did you remember?
But she always says, you know what, it doesn't have to involve money. But it's also a time and effort thing. So if I'm like, you know what, I just can't do anything today. It goes back to your point, like it's been a whole day. And just wants to, you know how y'all are like. He just wants to offload and and we do all the bonding thing, whatever the case is. But I must be honest, growing up in my family, I don't recall my parents ever having a date night.
Same.
because that's the society then.
But it's also possible that they didn't show me what they did.
Yeah.
Because it's about keeping the home fires burning at the end of the day.
True.
But also like the Zulu culture isn't about so much like affection, romance, PDA. It's only now that we're becoming like, it's actually okay to do this. It's okay to do that as...
We are only starting to open up now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, all right. Because I know, going back to varsity, a friend of mine classmates from Joburg, because of the stereotypes, she was like, I am not dating Zulu men, J, because of all the stereotypes. And she ended up,
I also just wanted
You know why?
But who sings I Love Zulu? Ricky.
Zulu Gang.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
It's
Yeah,
the
just to
twins.
add on what
Major League.
Matapelo said, is very true. And also, there's this thing of ukuthi namantombazana njalo who wants to be taken out on dates, ukuthi amaqola, we're not wife material, why ungahlala ekhaya upheke, you know?
Yeah.
Because of this Zulu thing, yokuthi nje,
In our culture, it says,
You know,
Yeah,
we
because-
don't go out there
because-
and khona ukuthi ekhaya, you know? That is just so lame. Yeah.
Well, so do you think that there is hope for love in 2020?
No.
Generally, underachieve.
Yes.
Or has it changed to the point of, because the economy is so bad now, that, look, if you find somebody you can vibe with, Uthando will, it's...
Yes, if it's like to answer your question, I solely believe ukuthi uthando into ekhona futhi uthando into engasoze yangaba khona. I told my friends this, ne, ukuthi umuntu athi mina I would never date because women do 1, 2, and 3. And why would I date? I mean, I just saw this lady who dates ban, but this is what she's doing today at the club. So my thing is like, if you are going to look for love in one space where you are constantly disappointed by what you see, uzokwazi kanjani ukuthi kwenye indawo kwenzakalani? So as people, we just need to open up and we need to broaden ourselves out when it comes to looking for love, because you can't say conclude ngento ebona la uphila khona kuphela and say because of this ngeke ngize date. I cannot judge umuntu engingamazi based on what I saw kusani. You understand? So you just need to give people chances up until you get to the one person where you say, okay, here I'm willing to give up everything and anything and just be with this person, because we've seen that happening so many times whereby umuntu bekade dlala all along, but I'm told umuntu akugcineni and they become happy ever after.
Random question. Do you believe that if you once dated somebody and you were like, this is the person, that was your soulmate, and things don't work out, you move on to the next relationship, is it possible to find more than one soulmate?
Yes.
One soulmate.
Personally,
As in, there's a scenario which says...
You fall in love 3 times.
It's not a guideline.
3 times.
And that's it. If it's more than that, like...
If it's
How
more-
many souls have you got? Let's start there, maybe.
Exactly.
I think
soulmate
now
is who
it's
you are.
like 4, 5, 6.
Lo muntu osuhlukene naye wasn't the initial soulmate. You thought
But
it
it
was.
depends, guys.
No, I
there are many
definitely- I
reasons
believe
why relationships don't
don't
work
work.
out. But it doesn't necessarily change the fact that what was there will always be there. Let's assume somebody moves overseas.
Yeah.
So it's not like you guys are not vibing. You're just
Yeah.
situation in hand. Then you're like on some like, but you're like, yo,
I think it's very hard
But
for
it still
people
remains
to, sorry, Mfundo.
Yeah.
I think it's hard for... This is another thing. What abantu bezempilweni zethu already seen high expectations for bona. I think it's hard for us to find that one soulmate because we connect with people for so many reasons, like on different levels. So if uzoba nama soulmates out of 5, it means la simple content ngibona kumathapele engekho kumfundo angisiza ngayo engekho kuhizi kanjalo yabo. So I think it's really hard for you to just say you have this one person who's your soulmate. Ngenzeka kube no soulmate omngani, ngenzeka kube no soulmate in the creative space. That's just how I think.
So basically, for whatever relationship you're in now, everybody else was preparing for that person because the piece of them helped you to get to this decision.
Maybe. That's just my thing.
I wouldn't answer that question if I were you.
I'm sorry.
Question. So right now there's 7 of us in the room, right? Out of the 7, 1 of us is married, all right? I would presume that the remaining 5, don't know about this douchebag, they're all seeing someone. Lo muntu onaye manje since it's love and since we age there, okay, since we live in Jolo. Since we live in Jolo and everything, we're fast approaching max age. Yeah,
No, you're very far, trust me.
we're fast approaching the max age. We're still instead of looking for somebody to have a good time with, we're looking for somebody who's a service easy. As I'm out, Nina, and as the future heads of the families, What are you looking for in order to build a healthy and loving home?
Okay,
Yeah, it's easy,
it's a very good question, my brother.
Minaje, it's simple. What you had to say, Minaje. So far, angazi. I wouldn't say yes. What I'm looking for because
They don't qualify.
no, not that they don't qualify. I guess we're not rolling.
We know.
We are.
We're not.
You said, what are we looking for?
Would you say, okay.
And the person you're going to build a home with, what are you looking for?
I think like beauty is number one. You know, you need to be attracted to umuntu ozophila naye for
Thank
the
you for
rest
your
of your life.
honesty, because men are always like,
You know, beauty is number one for me, and I mean, you need to be your own person. Like, I don't want someone who's dependent on me. You know, you must be dependent on some things, but there are things that you need to be able to do without me. For instance, if you want to go to the mall and buy yourself some shoes, go on, baby. I'll pick you up when you are done. Or even I'll see you home later when you come back with your car. You know what I mean? You need to come from a stable family.
Define stable.
I disagree.
When I say
Now we will come to you.
we'll come. You need to, no, for me, and it's better this for me. Right? You need to come from a
Unless you had eyes on
I think the stable family part is unfair though, because
let him
out of your control. Anyways, go on.
Yeah, you need to come. When I say stable, I totally agree when you say it's out of your control. When I say stable, I don't necessarily mean you need to come from a good family. But where you come from, there has to be a structure. For instance, me, you could say again, but at home, isikhona structure uyazi ukuthi khona ihead khona ubani. So when I say a stable family, umuntu owaziyo umthetho, umuntu ohloniphayo, umuntu omaziyo omunye umuntu. I don't mean which you need to come from a rich family or you need to come from a stable family whereby khulumani ubaba bashadile yonke into nice. A stable family, a stable background.